Snow Cone Mini One Shot. This is Izuku and Ochako as Nishikata and Takagi from Karakai Jozu not Takagi-san. Watch it and read it. Midoriya laid his head down as his classmate next to him giggled to herself. You make the best faces, Deku, she laughed as she had just teased him. That's not fair, Uraraka-san, he complained to her. What's not fair? She asked after her laughing died out. You always tease me like this and it's not fair. He kept complaining. But it's really fun to tease you. Your reactions are the best. She smiled. Yeah, well, just wait till I tease you back. His words made him sounding confident, but Uraraka just laughed at his words. I'll be waiting for that day. She turned back to her schoolwork and Izuku tried to think of a way to get back at her. He couldn't think of a single one that would be good, so he gave up for the day. Once school ended, he and Uraraka began to walk home from school as they would always do. Hey Deku. Uraraka tried getting his attention. What is it? He asked, turning to her. Want to go somewhere in a few hours? She asked him. What for? He asked, getting a bit suspicious. Just so we can spend some time together. They stopped at a vending machine. Midoriya got some coffee and Uraraka got some juice. Well, okay, that's fine, I guess. Midoriya brought the can to his lips and he began to drink the coffee. Consider it a date then, Uraraka teased. Midoriya spat his coffee out and choked a bit on the liquid and he dropped the can. Noi funny, Uraraka-san. Midoriya picked up the can and threw it away as Uraraka laughed at his reaction. I'm sorry, Deku. You just make the best faces. She was still chuckling a bit. Well, there goes my drink, Midoriya thought, still feeling a bit thirsty. Hey, do you want some of mine? Uraraka asked, shaking her can of juice gently. He considered it, but he declined after carefully thinking it through. No thanks, he said with a slightly visible blush on his face. Afraid of an indirect kiss, I see, she teased and drank the rest of her juice and then throwing the can in a garbage can that they walked by. They then came to the usual place where they separate ways. I'll text you when we should meet here. Goodbye, Deku, Uraraka waved goodbye. Bye, Uraraka-san. He waved back and watched her walk away and he went on his own way home. A few hours later passed by. Midoriya lied down on his bed reading a new issue of the All Might magazine. Whoa, so cool. I hope I have enough to buy the next one. He thought as he finished reading it. He read the entire thing in one sitting without taking his eyes off it. Of course that meant that he wasn't keeping track of time, and when he looked at his phone he realized that his meeting with Uraraka was in 5 minutes. Story continues below. Damn it, he thought as he raced to put on some better clothes. He didn't know where they would be going, so he just wore blue jeans, a casual green shirt to match his hair, and his signature shoes, and he raced downstairs after also grabbing some yen. Hey, where are you going? His mother asked, seeing him going really fast. I gotta go. I'm going to be late for meeting a friend. Midoriya raced past her. If it's that Uraraka girl, you should bring her over sometime. I think she may like you. She called out to her son, making him blush. No way that's possible. He shouted as he left the house and made his way to the spot, and he made it just 2 minutes late. Hey, you're out of breath, Uraraka pointed out as Midoriya bent over with his hands on his knees, taking deep breaths. Why yeah, sorry I was late. I got distracted, Midoriya said in between his heavy breathing. I bet you were reading a new issue of your All Might magazine, she predicted, and she was right. How do you know? He asked, looking up at her. He would never admit it right to her, but she was looking beautiful on her outfit. I just guessed and I happened to be right, Deku. Now come on, let's go. She went off and Midoriya followed her. So where are we going anyway? He asked, getting beside her. I don't know, she responded. Why you don't know? That what are we doing? He asked. Walking. If you see something you want to do then just say it and we can do it. They came into a mall. So, how come you wanted to hang out after school? He asked. Who knows? She avoided his question. Midoriya looked around at stuff like stands, stores, and a food court, but nothing really stood out to him. That was until he saw a comic book store. Do you want to go inside? Uraraka asked, noticing that he was eyeing the store. Can I? He asked. Of course, Midoriya went inside with her permission. He didn't expect for her to come in the store with him though. There was a certain manga he wanted, but it was a shoujo one, meaning its target audience was girls, and there was no way he could get that while Uraraka was here. I tried reading a shoujo one before. I didn't like it. Are you looking for anything specific, Deku? She asked, following him around in the mostly vacant store. And not really. I didn't think you would come in here though with me, Midoriya said, looking at a stand. Oh, so does that mean you were looking for something specific? She figured out, making Midoriya start to sweat. Let's go somewhere else, he said, running out of the store. Uraraka took a look behind her and then went after him. Midoriya didn't want to go anywhere else, so Uraraka went to all the places she wanted to go to. She was unfortunately poor though, so she mostly looked at stuff, and she only bought a bottle of perfume and a clearance purse that didn't hold much. This was really fun, Deku. I had a good time. She smiled at him, making his face red even though she wasn't trying to tease him. I had fun as well, Uraraka-san, he said as they started to walk towards the exit. Give me a second. I have to use the bathroom. She excused herself right when they were at the exit and she went away. Midoriya waited about 5 minutes before she came back. Alright, let's go, and with that they left the mall and began to make their way home. Instead of splitting up at their usual place, Deku offered to walk her the rest of the way to her house to make sure she got there safely, which she gladly accepted. Thanks for walking me home, Deku. You didn't have to do that. But I think I know how I can repay you. She started to reach into her purse. Well, I care about you a lot, so of course I was going to walk with you, Midoriya said without even thinking about what he said. This, however, took Uraraka by surprise. Here, she said a single word and pushed the manga into his hands. Hey, this is. Uraraka had already went into her house and shut the door behind her, leaving Midoriya confused outside, but he just shrugged it off and went home, still not realizing what exactly he had said. Uraraka meanwhile let go of the blush she had just been holding, and I think I may have made them too much like Nishikata and Takagi.